GM, we are live. We are live, and I do not know what's going on because I am having some trouble with Underdog. I've been getting this spinning wheel for the past couple of minutes, and I don't know if Underdog is down or if I'm having issues on my side. But either way, no matter what it is, good morning to all of you. Appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out. Joel says, GM, hey, GM to you. Joel, we're going to try to figure out, we're going to try to work through this. I opened it in another tab, and I got some errors I've never even seen before. Okay, it looks like we might be okay. Let's see. All right. I'm going to switch tabs. All right, there we go. Don't know what was going on, but we're this is a DBQ. I'll sit in this room for a second, let people trickle on in. This is a Dawg Bowl qualifier waiting for 4 Go AZ cards, first of many. Thumbs up, GM to you. Hey, Go AZ cards, thanks so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support as always. As you can see, I've been exiled from my office. My wife with a serious job requires the office today, so I am in the backup studio, aka my living room. So it's a little, it's the you get the different setup here. Let you behind the curtain for those of you who are on time to class today. But appreciate all of you. Appreciate y'all hanging out. I might just try to hop into a main BR. I don't think we got any like crazy news yesterday. I don't think there was anything super groundbreaking that occurred between Tuesday and Wednesday. I hope all of your waiver claims went well. I would imagine Vidal was probably the main pickup of the week for people. So I hope if you were looking for some running back help, you were able to shore that up there. I still have to think Chargers are live to do something. I don't know how much more Nyheim Hines is going to play. Joined the team midweek last week. Wouldn't be surprised if he got worked in slightly more. You know, the word was Haskins was going to get the first touches last week, and that didn't really come to fruition. I think it was, probably going to be a hot hand, and Vidal was just the hotter of the hands. But I think he'll get the first crack after what he showed last week. GM Candles in the Greg. Hey, GM to you, Greg. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Steven says, GM, everyone. Hey, Steven, thanks so much for coming in. FF Chef, likewise. GM to you. Appreciate you. It's Brian 12 season. Of course it is. Hey, Brian, thanks so much for popping in. Appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Good morning to you. Go AZ Cards biggest. Are you going to draft Pacheco? Biggest I will. Yes. So on I'm blanking on Gumby's stream last night. He was talking late, and Gumby, great stream there, talking about Pacheco, and kind of sold me for the 12-mans on Pacheco not being a bad late click. The running back situation past once you get past this Mason, Dobbins, Swift, Vidal zone, kind of turns bad. You have Alvin Kamara with all of his questions and not being great, down to Ramondre, who, I think, what did he have, like 13 attempts, 18 yards on 13 attempts. We all think Henderson's going to take more of that. Good matchup, but, seems like he's a not great player, probably in some kind of timeshare. Pollard, nobody wants to click on. And then you got Pacheco. Pacheco at pick 65, going undrafted in a lot of contests. We expect Kansas City to destroy Vegas. The Gumby made the argument. Pacheco really was starting to take more of the Kareem Hunt workload. Was in at the one goal line carry that Mahomes took himself. So I have been somewhat Pacheco pilled. I don't want to take him every time, but I think he's live as a late round click in some Dawg Bowl. So to answer your question, Go AZ Cards, I am now taking a little Pacheco, but I don't want to be fooled. Steven says, are you drafting Genty and Cam in 6-man? Cam, yes. I think I'm going to have a soft fade on Genty this week. I certainly don't fault anyone for taking him. I just think there's going to be I think the game script's going to be kind of bad for him. I prefer scrolling down to Scatabo, Mason, Dobbins, Vidal a little bit. I don't know if I want to have like no Genty in the six persons, but he's like not my. Yeah, he goes at pick 36. That's a little surprising, right? Because I mean, if you didn't take him, he would have gone undrafted, and his ADP is 12. But there's definitely he's kind of a weird pick 12 where like we don't feel great about it. We've had some weeks where the pick 12 like seems really strong. I definitely prefer the receivers going in that range. Jefferson, Rashee Rice, CD Lamb, and then like I would just take my problem is I would like take Odunze over Genty every time. Like I'm okay enough with the later running backs to where I feel like that to me Odunze is kind of a misprice here at 17. I feel like he's such a gift in the middle of the board with DJ Moore spending a night in the hospital. Saints are, I think they're much easier to beat through the air than on the ground. I'm pretty into that there. Go easy cards. Last round is your flex this week, 10 points, and Pacheco can fall in the end zone. Credits to Brian. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was which one of the two had made the point. I had to listen on audio because I was trying to put the kiddo to bed. But yes, it was on their stream, and it was a very good point they were making. Steven said that's why I asked him, Torn, what to do. Pick 36 took a chance. Yeah, I think that's more than reasonable there. All right, I'm hopping out of that Dawg Bowl. Let's hop into a main BR just so we're not just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. Okay, we're gonna have to twiddle a little longer because we're waiting for 5. We're waiting for 5, but if anyone wants to get in a main BR, I won't abandon this one. We'll try to get in. But yeah, let's see where the exposures are at. So if people are curious. So I've done 29 of these. I'll limit it to the main BR. So I guess quarterback, I've been very spread out. This is not right. I've done more than 14. It doesn't like refresh if you don't make it. All right, I've done 26 of them. This makes more sense. So again, I don't have more than 3. I've done 26 drafts, and I've only taken the same quarterback 3 times. So I've definitely been very spread out this week. I don't really know how much you can glean from this other than I don't really have a super strong opinion at the quarterback position. Running back's a little different. I like Scatabo. I like where he goes in the drafts. Maybe I'm taking a little bit too much of him. I'd like to get more Jordan Mason. We were talking about him last night. He is going to continue to rise up. Talking about big ETR, their projections come out tonight. They're probably going to project him very well. So I would be trying to snag some later round Jordan Mason while he's still cheap. I think in the 6 persons, he's not going to rise up too much to where you're like losing too many combos, not being able to take him in round 6. But there might be cases where you can build teams you're not going to be able to get later in the week. So want to be grabbing more Mason. I think that's one. Definitely in the Dawg Bowl, Mason has been rocketing up. I don't want to say making fun of, but I was a little taken aback, I'll say, by someone who took Jordan Mason at pick 16, and I actually feel like that's not going to be too far off from where he ends up after being, after hearing the arguments of why I was underestimating his possible ultimate ADP where he'll end up. So we will see. Hey, Jake, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. We are in here at the 4-hole. Chad exposing himself at 7:30 in the morning. Well, we're getting the day started. And I made y'all sit while I was waiting for 4 in the Dawg Bowl, so we had to provide a little bit of information there. Pull up the exposures. M Gallon 91. Hey, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in. Good morning. Hope you're having a nice day out there. We're just getting started in our first BR of the day, which reminds me, I should do the timestamps. Gotten a lot of feedback how much people enjoy the timestamps. Actually, no one's actually said anything, but it does make it look nicer when there's the chapter. Dog or intro. Where are we at? All right, let's put 9:30. BR1. All right. People can skip the people can skip waiting if they join later. All right, and then we will put it on subs only mode for the chat here because we are on the road to 300 subs. We broke 250, which was awesome. Super excited about that. Yesterday's video was the first stream I have more than 200 views, which is a big milestone for me. Really appreciate all of your support. So big shout out to all of you. Thanks so much for coming in, spending your mornings hanging out. It's so much fun to do these. And let's if we want to have fun, let's take Judkins. Let's do a little Judkins over Saquon in this draft. I'll try to keep the board up so people know what's going on. I really think Miami is circling the drain. I am in favor of a lot of Cleveland pieces, especially in the dog bowls. I like Jerry Jeudy as a last round wide receiver. Been taking him. I like Harold Fannin. He used to be free in dog bowls. Now he tends to go in round 5, even 4. I've seen him go in the 4th round. So word is out on Jeudy, especially with Njoku out and the Dylan Gabriel hyper targeting him. But I mean, he also dropped back like 56 times that game, or 53 times. So tons of dropbacks. Hard to know exactly how the game script might go against the Dolphins, where they might not be playing from behind like they were against Pittsburgh. All right, I told you all I thought Odunze was a mispriced. Rashee Rice is here. He's going to be around pick 8-9 all week. So I'm not too fussed about I'm going to get plenty of Rashee Rice, but I do like Rome Odunze. I think there's an argument to be made to where he could really be the wide receiver 2 on the slate. I think one of the Dallas guys probably should be going ahead of him. I know it sounds crazy taking him ahead of Justin Jefferson, but we have JJ McCarthy back, who's been so up and down. It's just tough. It's tough to trust him, but Jefferson, he's Justin Jefferson. He could get there with me at quarterback, I'm sure. So he's an elite player. I'm not fading Jefferson, but I do like Odunze. New Orleans is kind of a fun matchup. They tend to like to push the pace, so I think there's going to be a lot of possessions in that game. They're more susceptible to the pass than the run. So I like Odunze there. DJ Moore might be out. I don't know how much that impacts him truly, because I don't think Moore is like taking away Odunze's targets in a meaningful way. And if anything, we might see more Luther Burden this week, which is kind of fun. Zaccheaus is going to continue to be annoying. I don't hate rostering Burden or Odunze Burden or Zaccheaus in the 12 persons. I think those are fine. Burden's obviously the more fun click, but Zaccheaus is continues to be involved, and his snap share was not eroded as much as maybe we thought it would be after the bye. So we'll start with Judkins and Odunze there. And then let's see. All right. I'm deciding if I want one of these elite tight ends or I just want to kind of play this one a little more straight up. Let's take a Ladd McConkey share. I like Ladd. There's enough running backs to where I'm okay pushing it. I said I wanted to get more Mason, so maybe we try to just take Mason here at pick 21, because this team's going to round out with one of Caleb or Herbert. They tend to go to either the Rome drafter or the Ladd drafter. I'd be surprised if both of them went. And there's enough rushing quarterbacks to where if you get sniped or you just choose to go another direction, I mean, Dart, Nix, Hurts, Daniel Jones all have enough rushing upside to feel like you're more than okay taking them unstacked. So I'm trying to see. I have, J-Dubs can take a running back and GMK can take a running back. If Sal passes on running back, maybe I just push running back because there's 3 running backs I'm okay with. And then I can snag one of these elite tight ends. So we'll see if Salve takes a running back, I might just take my guy. Salve takes Dak. So, maybe we go McBride or Kraft here. I'll just take the Trey McBride dip, and then we'll grab whichever running back we end up left with, whether that's Krosky, Merritt, Hall, Scatabo, or our guy Mason, who's all the way down here at pick 35. So he's 35 in the 6 persons, but he's already up to pick 26 in the 12 persons. And in the 12 person BRs tend to kind of precede the movements you see here in the BRs. So I think you're going to see Mason rise up. I just don't know how much he's going to move in the 6 persons, but I do think he's going to turn into a guy who's drafted in most contests rather than somebody who's rarely drafted. King Schuster, hey, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Let's see what we end up with here in this particular room. Let's see what the Dawg Bowl's at, because if it's waiting for 11 and we just missed it, it's still waiting for 4. All right, I don't want it to fill while I'm not over there. So let's go back to this draft. Probably run just another BR when this one wraps up. Pull up the board so people can see what's going on. It sounds unfortunately like Kyler's coming back. And, no offense to Kyler, I don't wish injury on anyone, but I do think McBride with Brissett was better than Kyler had been. But it does seem like with MHJ out, McBride could just see so many targets. So Scadabo's here. I'm going to end up with so much Scadabo. I'm just going to scroll down a touch in this particular draft. We'll take Mason. The people after me all have quarterbacks, so I don't have to worry. I have my choice here of Herbert or Caleb. So this is a little bit of an interesting inflection point of who we want in this game. I could see arguments for either. I don't think I want to do Kyler. I don't think I want to take someone unstacked here. I mean, again, you could take Fields, you could take Daniels. A lot of decision points to be made here. I think I'll lean towards Caleb. I mean, I don't know, almost flip a coin. These default underdog projections do show Herbert higher. That could well be. But I think in this case, we'll just end this with Caleb. Maybe I should tie break it towards the lower owned one, but I don't think I have to get too fussed about ownership with the Mason scroll here. So this team will end up being Caleb Williams, Quinshon Judkins, Jordan Mason, Rome Odunze, Lad McConkey, Trey McBride. I think it's a perfectly reasonable team. Let's see. J-Dubs is in the room. Where did he end up? He went Jacobs, Rice, Mahomes. So I think this is a pairing you'll see a lot. I think it's very strong. I don't care that it's common. I think it's just good. He adds Travis Kelce to it, so he does a a double stack here. Rice, Mahomes, Kelce, and then tacks on Debo, Breece Hall. Nice team there. I think a lot of people think that Kansas City might just try to absolutely destroy the Raiders. I know there's some talk that the Raiders historically play Kansas City tough. I don't know. This Kansas City team is like it's like the Kansas City teams we'd see like 3-4 years ago, where they were like super fun, high octane, pass heavy buzzsaw of an offense. And so I'm not really worried about that. Hey, Slate and Morning Chad, what a fun week for tight end QB. I love this tight end slate. So let's see. We had Warren. We had someone go double tight end, which this tight end slate's good, but don't get too excited. This person went Warren Goddard. Don't really love that. I think that's just too clever. We see Kraft, McBride, Ferguson, Kelce, Fannin. I mean, these are all great tight ends. And then look who's not drafted. Zach Ertz was a smash in the game with the highest total of the week. Darren Waller, his snap count has risen a ton, and McDaniel seems to be able to get the ball to A-Chain, Waddle, and Waller, and no one else. Hunter Henry, everybody loves Drake May, no Hunter Henry. Mason Taylor, who else are the Jets going to throw the ball to? Michael Mayer, super involved in the offense, going to have a good game script. And then if you want to get cute, Evan Ingram started getting more involved. His snap count's not great. Taysom Hill could randomly just win a week. Hawkinson, is coming around. Oronde Gadsden is now the tight end one in the Chargers. Like, tight end is so deep. So don't feel like you have to just stick. You can definitely I would have some builds where I am not taking these elite tight ends. I think they're obviously, in very good positions themselves, but some of these guys down at the bottom could spike, but also have very low ownership. Like Mason Taylor, Michael Mayer. These guys are going to be like probably less than 10% owned in the 6-person BRs, And translating that to the Dawg Bowl, I think the meta is going to be a lot of people just taking tight end with their last pick or their second to last pick because there's so many good options there. All right. King says, first time here. Any advice how to win a contest? So I've won 2. Well, technically I didn't win the Dawg Bowl. I got 3rd, but that was enough for a seat. And that was a 12-person. I won the divisional round battle Royale last year, which again, it's a little wonky because that's only a 4-game slate. But it was the main BR. A lot of people you had to beat. And the reason I won that contest was because the team, my last pick of the draft, it was a Jaden Daniels team, and I took Brian Robinson Jr. instead of Austin Eckler because the common wisdom was, well, on Daniels teams, Eckler's a pass catching back. And I was like, well, Brian Robinson Jr. is going largely undrafted, and I had been listening to Davis's show, and I want to say it was Rich Rebar. I can't remember who made the point, but I remembered hearing it. And Brian Robinson Jr. had like 3 targets the week before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try to get different. And it was what I needed. Like literally that 1v1. If I took Austin Eckler, I probably finish, 350th or something. And because I had Brian Robinson, I won, and he was like 5% owned in a short week. So for me, in that contest, what I learned was like, just, make your own decisions, do things that are a little unorthodox. There wasn't that big I wasn't sacrificing a ton of projection going from Brian Robinson to Eckler, but it was just something that was just like kind of against people's mental model. So just don't be afraid to like trust your instincts. You're going to hear a lot of different content. Take the stuff that you kind of jive with and you agree, take that on board. You're going to hear a lot of stuff that you disagree with, and you don't have to, I'm going to say why I'm doing things, and you're going to listen and you'll be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And that's fine. Like, I'm not offended like that. I'm sure I say a lot of dumb stuff, but make sure what you're hearing, the concept, the content you're consuming, you actually like agree with, because it's at the end of the day, like I do a ton of these and I've won 2 contests, right? Like, it's not like I don't win every week. Nobody wins every week. So there's just like, don't feel like, oh, I need to copy X person or Y person, because like you've got to make your own decisions and find ways to get different. In the 12-person, the big thing I did there was I got ahead of the market on Rico Dowdle. I got Rico Dowdle with pick 72 in the Dawg Bowl. Now, Rico Dowdle ended up being 100% owned, but most people either got him because they took Chuba Hubbard in round 3 and between round 2 and 4. I can't remember exactly where he went, and it was a swap, or they took Rico Dowdle in round 2 to 3 when Chuba was announced out. So I was able to build a quote unquote super team. I had Jacoby Myers, so it wasn't that super, and I barely squeaked in, but it did let me get some combinations you couldn't. So not being afraid to get ahead of news, not being afraid to play guys with Q tags who might end up playing, and when they're announced in, they're going to rise, or conversely, if there's a popular guy with a Q tag, play the backup or whoever's going to benefit if they are out. And if that went wrong, if Hubbard played, then what happens? Well, I lose that team. Okay, so I'm out that entry. But what happens when he isn't? Well, now I have in that case I won, but it gave me the opportunity to build, to do stuff. So try to stay ahead of news, draft at different points. I think those are your advice, but winning a contest is so hard. There's so much luck. I mean, if the Bengals don't have a stupid safety at the end of the game, there was someone with Jamar Chase that I think would have caught me. The Chargers put in Trey Lance in their last drive instead of trying. If QJ or Ladd had gotten like 20 more yards, I would have lost. Like the margins are so thin. So again, it's just like you're also going to need a lot of luck. So anyway, I know that's again, and it's tough. Like you gotta blaze your own trail. But those are a few things that have helped me. Do we think Warren flips McBride with Kyler? No, only because I think, for me, I think MHJ being out is going to be enough of a catalyst for people to just pile into McBride. And I think Warren's a great play, but I think they're kind of neck and neck as it is. And then just the added, like, well, he's probably in line for like 1 million targets. I don't think he'll flip it, but it's so close. I don't think it matters. Like, I think you're going to see them kind of flip flop in these contests. Is Vidal a good play this week? Yeah, I don't mind Vidal. I think he's fine. I don't want to like go nuts on him, but I think he's fine. Slate more. Oh, I read that. Maybe in a 12-man. I don't think you need to scroll that far in 6. You could though, right? Like he's, so Genty went undrafted. Swift, Dobbins, Vidal. He's not like crazy deep. Like I wouldn't be clicking like Tony Pollard or Kareem Hunt. I think then you've gone too far. I think Vidal's fine. I mean, that could be a pretty back and forth game with Indy. So I'm not opposed to taking him in. I'll probably end up with a little bit of him, I think, in the 6 persons. Fantasy Dog, Morning Chad. Hey, number 9, like what was I thinking? Well, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. And that's a good reminder. Folks can hit the like, hit the sub. Oh, I just missed a Dawg Bowl. I should have been while I was blabbing on. So no Dawg Bowl, no Dawg Bowl yet. I'll hop into main VR, and I will. Let me get the timestamp going. We'll try. We're definitely going to do a Dawg Bowl on stream, but it won't be. I'm not going to sit in that one and make y'all wait. So let me get the next timestamp up and running here. Oops. Davis is so good at this. Like, you don't even notice he's like updating the timestamps, and I have to like stop and say numbers out loud so I can type them. All right. We are waiting for 2. Flyfish says, like any of these contests, it's a combo proposition, so play for a lot of shots on goal. Yeah. And Pete said this, that it's, this is a combos game, not an ADP game, and I think that's true. Like it's definitely about these player combinations, who you're able to pair guys with and making that happen. How about Dobbins in a 6-man? Again, I think that's fine. I don't love Dobbins just generally because, Harvey's kind of breathing down his neck. The usage is really squirrely there, but I think it's fine. Everyone's in love with the Giants, and like, they're coming off of a very big emotional win, playing now a very good defense, not a team that's like kind of infighting like the Eagles were, who, I think Carter was kind of expected to play. I know he was a game time decision, but it almost seemed like they were expecting him in, just kind of the vibe, and then he wasn't. So I don't know. We could see like Denver, demolish them, and then all of this like fun Dart Scatabo stuff is like, oh yeah, remember when we were really excited about them for like 6 days? But I don't know. I think the Giants are fun, and again, Dobbins, just the split workload, and Tyler Beatty working in, and just like random Peyton nonsense is just makes me not love him. But I don't hate it. It wouldn't shock if you told me he had 2 touchdowns against the Giants. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, who could have seen that coming? So yeah, I think he's clickable. GM Chad, hey, Offsuit TV, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. I appreciate you very much for coming in, hanging out. We got Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs. All right, we'll do an A-chain team. Sure. Not my favorite. I think there's really a big 2 after Taylor and Jacobs. I feel like that's a pretty hefty drop off for me. Greg asks, can you underdog in Idaho? My recollection is no. There's like this weird swath of Western states where you cannot play underdog, but I know there's a good map they put out. I don't know why I feel like Idaho was one of them. You can't. Like Washington State, you can't. Idaho, I thought was no. I don't know. There's like Alaska, you can't. Hawaii, you can't. So it's just kind of annoying. You go out west and you're like, so much freedom. And then it's like, oh, not too much freedom, because you cannot play underdog fantasy out here. All right, so we got Devon A-Chain, and let's see what we add him to. All right, we'll do Rashi Rice. We'll do a Rashi Rice team for the people. Yeah, Nez was close. Needed a Myers TV. TD, I was watching. I saw that, and the week I won, he was close too. He had a Tony Pollard team in the top, I want to say 15, maybe even 10. If Tony Pollard had done much more, he would have qualified He would have qualified my week. So Nez is over the target. I'd really love to see him get in. Seems the RBs late are better than wide receivers late. I think they're both fine late, is my opinion, Steven. I didn't go through the wide receivers, but I think there's some guys we can click. Maybe we'll go through those. Hey, GM to you, Lutz. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Always appreciate the support. We got A-Chain and Rice. Lamb goes. I would have taken Lamb because I think he's going to rise if he's marked in. He'll probably move up a few spots. I don't think he's going to go into the first round or anything just because Pickens has been so good and we're not really sure what the usage and stuff is. But if we get clarity that he's just 100% in, pick 13 CD Lamb in the highest total game, it's going to seem like, why weren't we just windmilling him in every time? All right, we'll do a team a lot of people are doing, so we're gonna have to figure out how to get different. Let's do Mahomes with Rice. I like Mahomes with Rice, but I also like Mahomes with Worthy. Worthy's not 100% drafted. He's down here at pick 32. I think you could do that to get different. You could do Mahomes Kelsey. I think Mahomes Hollywood is too thin for the 6 persons. I wouldn't do that. But if you really want to get wild, you could. I just think that's too wild, but it's just an idea if anyone's interested in getting too crazy. King Schuster notes, Judy and Fannin are some of my favorite clicks. I agree there. I would be, spoilers, I would not be surprised to see Judy or Fannin end up on this particular roster that I'm currently building here. All right, let's see what the room hands to us. I think my preference would be Cortland Sutton, but I'm also okay going down to a Jerry Jeudy opposite A-Chain. Game stacking overdone for me, so I don't necessarily need to prioritize that. Maybe we just do Ferguson. No, you know what? We're going to follow the tight end flow chart. I think I like Kraft over Ferguson, especially if Lamb is back. I think Ferguson's going to be fine with Lamb, but the flow chart tight ends against Arizona, I'm just gonna buy that, especially with how much I really like Tucker Kraft. Hey, Mathology, morning chat and chat. Appreciate you so much, Mathology. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. Really enjoyed your stream over on the Flannelverse yesterday. That was awesome, along with fantasy grinder there. That was good stuff. Even if you sniped me on I know it was unintentional. But I had a Hurts Goddard team, and I was hoping to get Devonta, and you took him one pick ahead of me. But no, I knew it was a good pick regardless. But you got me for the week before because I took Calvin Ridley, and you had mentioned him as who you were going to take next, and I was about 45 seconds behind on stream. I took him, and then you're like, oh, it'll be Calvin Ridley. I was like, now I look like a big jerk. So You did get your revenge there. All right, let's do Scadabo's a little bit of a say the line Bart pick, but I do like him a lot. Been trying to get more Mason. Am I gonna do this in time? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I can't even type. Oh my god. I missed my pick. I'm so embarrassed. I'm not even mad if I don't get Judy. I'm just mad that you all had to watch that. That's just so bad. It's just shameful. All right, well, we move on. We'll edit that out in post-production. Washington, Idaho, Montana, no. Yeah, it's brutal when you go out west. You just can't do those things. When you win the Dawg Bowl, do they provide hotel and travel? They provide you a hotel and they give you $1,000 for travel. They don't and you can, if you take the Greyhound bus there, you could, I guess, pocket the rest of it if you wanted. But they, that's how they do the travel. They don't book flights for you or anything, but they do that. But yes, they set up your hotel for you. All right, we're on. Did we miss Judy? I don't think so. Oh my god! Now you have to see me try to spell Jerry Judy. All right, well that was embarrassing, but this team is done. It's Mahomes, A-Chain, Scadabo, Rashi Rice, Jerry Judy, Tucker Kraft. I think all things considered. Excuse me, I like this team. I think this is good. Fantasy Dogs in the room. Let's see what he did. Josh Jacobs, Jaden Daniels, Debo Samuel, Jake Ferguson, Ted McMillan, and we'll see how he lands the plane. I like I like this game stack here. We'll see if Terry McLaurin comes back. I have a little bit of concerns with Debo. He just doesn't seem quite right. Maybe he benefits a bit if we get a field stretcher like McLaurin back in there. So I don't know. I might come around to it. Just for me right now, 14 feels so rich, but also like passing the wide receiver one on Washington in the highest total game. It's probably bad process. So I should probably end up with a little bit of Debo because he is the kind of guy that could bury you. We've seen Dallas's defense just absolutely fold up the tent and in those games shoot out. So don't mind the Debo stuff too much, but get a little bit of sticker shock seeing him up there after being a little bit disappointing lately. All right, let's see. Let me catch up with the chat. Flyfish says yes. Brown trout streamer season there. I missed some. Greg talking about Montana, the Idaho reference. Some fly fishing. Okay, so yeah, this is something I have stone zero knowledge about fly fishing here. Oh my gosh, what did I do? All right. I'm shocked the BR is still 50K with it not filling. Yeah, the BR did not fill. I think they made it smaller, but they kept the 50K up top, if I remember right. We all do that. Yeah, well, thanks, Steven. It was still embarrassing. Oh, good, Chad. Let the best build. Absolutely. Fly fish. Yeah, a lot of fly fishing chatter this morning. You love to see it. Gentie's ADP does not make sense this way. Offsuit, I don't know. Do you think he's too high or going at pick 30? I'm assuming. I don't know what you mean because his ADP is I guess it's 28, huh? So his ADP in here's 28. I'm assuming you think it should be higher. Going too late. Okay. I think it's just the matchup, right? I think it's the matchup. I think it's the usage. I mean, I would like to see him getting not have to deal with Mostert at all. I don't think he's catching as many passes as maybe some of us had hoped. But I think most of us are just worried that the game script gets so out of hand that he's doesn't get home. But yeah, I mean, taking Cam Scatterbo against Denver over Genty, even against Kansas City, might look kind of messed up on Sunday afternoon. My odds of winning greatly minimized. Chad factor. Uh-oh, what did I do? Going too late. Okay, let me see what you did, Fantasy Dog. So I went over your team. I'm losing my mind. I'm pretty sure this Dawg Bowl is going to be nowhere near filling because it was waiting for 11. Yeah, waiting for 8. All right, we'll hop out of that. Let's do another BR. Let's try to redeem ourselves for the slow clicking. All right, 38.15. All right. BR3. So today's always a good. I really just can't get the 1 and 2 pick here. Hold on. By the way, speaking of fly fishing, we got Trout Stalker in here. So I don't know. I don't know if that's any of you. Is this you, Flyfish 208? Are you being that you're talking about brown trout streamer season? I don't know. You got to let me know because this would be quite the coincidence if we get if this channel gets taken over by the fly fishing community and then we have a random trout stalker coming in. It might be too much. But either way, I wish, not me. The trout is out. I don't know what's going on today, guys. This is what happens. This is you're streaming at 9:10 in the morning and things happen. Also, the sun just decided to enter my window. My God, it got bright in here. All right. Well, we're gonna be up. We're probably gonna take A-Chain. Maybe we'll take Judkins. We'll just try to shake it up a little bit so we don't do another A-Chain team. But either way, I was saying today's a fun day. I like getting the first injury reports. There's always some random Q tag that crops up, and then we spend the next few days speculating. Is it veteran rest? Is it not? Oh my God, Jonathan Taylor at the 3. Okay, let's do that. So Rashi Rice goes at the 1, and someone takes Judkins at the 2. So this is a team where I am definitely live to try to take CD Lamb at the 10, because if Lamb is in, I think he's going to be very hard to pair with Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, all the battle royales that have done thus far, you could get that, but it's possible if a full practice comes for Lamb, it's going to be harder and harder to get that. So I think we'll try to do a Taylor Lamb team if Lamb comes back to us, but if not, it's fine. I don't like love the Lamb thing, but I don't want to like pass up the opportunity to do something that's going to combinatorially I won't have the option to do as the week moves on. So we'll see if we can get that. But obviously Trout Stalker's probably in the chat now because he heard all the great fly fishing discussion going on in the comments, and so now he knows the plan, and so he might take Lamb there, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, if something crazy comes to us like A-Chain, we're not going to pass that for hypothetical CLV if we get real CLV. I also feel like if someone goes JT A-Chain, they really might cancel the draft because that's like truly impossible. Like should be impossible, but getting the 1 and the 3. But it does not work out that way for us. That's okay. Let's just do CD Lamb here. So we got Taylor Lamb. Yeah, offshoot knowing Rashi Rice would give Binny a stroke. Yes. For the references this morning in the Davis Matic Discord, one of the residents in there was fighting against the tide of Rashi Rice. Not happy with Rashi Rice where he's going in these BRs, but that is not the Discord for Rashi Rice FUD. It is all discussion is welcome and taken, but there are a lot of Rashi Rice supporters in there. Yes, that is a unique parent. Yes, if we got A-Chain Jonathan Taylor, that would be pretty astounding. But we don't have to worry about Underdog scrutinizing the draft. Jaden Daniels goes, I probably would have taken Daniels just for, again, quasi uniqueness. Now we have to decide, do we want one of these tight ends? I don't think I want to go Javonte and Lamb. I could do Debo and build out the game stack. I don't know if I like I said before, I'm just like not super duper into Debo this week. So let's make this a lad. Let's do a lad team here. And we have the option now between Dak and Herbert if Dak comes back to us. Again, I'm not committed to needing a bring back. If I was, I think Ertz is kind of fun. Krusky Merritt already went. So we will see. We will see. Lute's asking, any possibility you would trade Bijan in the Larison League? This is referring to the Dynasty League and the Matic League. I'd give an arm and a leg. I mean, if you want to throw an offer in, Lutz, I will listen to anything. I will say that. Never say never. But I want to say when I was bidding on Bijan, I was like trying to kind of price enforce, and then I got him. So I like spent way too much on him. I also think I might have neighbors in that league. So I don't know. I might be. I don't think I'm competing this season if I remember right. We'll have to see. One of my dynasty leagues, I know I paid with startups. I paid way too much for Malik Neighbors, and so thought I was going to be winning now. We're not winning now. All right, so we got Jonathan Taylor, CD Lamb, Lad McConkey. I'll probably just take Trey McBride here. That seems fine. Debo almost made it back to us, but let's just do McBride. We'll take this. We're going to try to soak up some more ADP value. We did brick out on Dak. I think because of that, we're just going to snag Herbert here. This legacy guy, Herbert really wouldn't make too much sense, although he has Warren. So some people, if they want a game stack, I could see them taking Herbert. So we don't need to push it. I'd be fine ending this team with Herbert and Mason with this team. I think that would be fine. Again, we ended up with a game stack. That's fine, but it's not the primary focus here. I'll pull the board up. People see what's going on here. I hope the fly fishing community is happy with what Trout Stalker's doing. I think that team makes sense that they've got going on there. All right, so let's scroll down to Herbert. I could obviously have taken like Jalen Hurts. I think that would have been a fine way to get even more different with this team, to take the running quarterback and omit the stack. But if QJ misses again, I think Lad's pretty big smash. Hamstring injuries are finicky. I know QJ kind of went limited, and then out, questionable to out, which was, suggests he's probably on the more optimistic side of playing this week. But again, hamstrings are funny. Like you don't know. They might just not want to chance it, or these things can flare up. So we'll see what they do. Also, not all limited practices seem to be created equal. Like I don't know. Sometimes limited doesn't necessarily mean like what it does with other players. So we'll see how much activity QJ ends up with. All these guys have 2 running backs. So again, we could take Genty. I think I'm going to scroll down to Mason here and just grab some of that before what we're predicting to be a rise when big ETR comes along. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. These guys, of course. All right, so Dallas Goedert goes. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything we can glean from these rooms. Jordan Addison, kind of an interesting scroll. Kind of an interesting scroll there. I've seen that in the Dawg Bowls. Don't really see that too much in the 6 persons, but getting a extremely low owned Addison, I don't mind that too much. Obviously, with JJ McCarthy, we didn't really see that connection. I actually don't think Addison was back from suspension when McCarthy left. I can't remember if they had 1 game together or not. But either way, I haven't seen too much of that. Don't mind that though, as a last round wide receiver if you want to scroll down there. Go Easy Cards, we see you, Chad. Debo ADP is too high, and then he almost falls to yeah. That's the bit. I'm like, oh, I don't really like this player. It's like, fooled you guys. No, I think his ADP is a little too high, but I also I don't want to like prick the week because I didn't take the wide receiver 1 in the highest game total game. Like that just feels like a dumb way to lose. Like I don't know. Maybe that's me playing scared and I should just like live my truth, but I don't know. It might just not be the wisest way to do things. All right, let's see what the DBQ is at. Oh, we're in it. We are in it. All right, so let me apologies. Would have loved to give you all a heads up. As you see, gosh, I can't get anything on the left side of the board. My goodness. But Go AZ Cards, you are in here. I see Go AZ Cards in here. Let me get the timestamp going. 48:08. Dawg Bowl Q1. All right, sweet. So let's see. We got a good room. We got Patrick Barnes YouTube, League of Items, big time player, and Magikarp. See them everywhere. Go AZ Cards, King Koss. They come around here sometimes. Buster's Boys. Famously discussed them yesterday, and of course copper prices. So a truly difficult room this is going to be, but we will see. We will see if we can't navigate. And we hit the wrong button. We're back, but we are back here. All right. No, I pulled that up before. Brian noting, if you had to pick one player in any position you needed to be the winning lineup, who would it be? Curious what the chat thinks. I honestly hope it's not Jonathan Taylor or Jacobs, because you can only get them from the 1 and the 2, and those weeks are kind of annoying because they only reward volume drafters. And I like the weeks where the like winning player is, has an ADP of 18, because then it's like, well, everybody could have gotten them. I think last week was kind of like that. There were the week I won my Dawg Bowl seat, there were like multiple paths, which I thought was pretty cool. Like I won from the 1 hole, but I think the other 2 were over on the right side of the board. with like JSN, who most people were able to get, and I can't even remember the other receiver in that range. So I hope it's a week like that where there's multiple paths forward. If I had to pick, if you made me pick who you need, I would say it's Rome Odunze. But maybe that's just me coping because I've had so many dog bowls on the right side of the board, and I can click him. But I do think that matchup with the Saints is kind of fun, and we haven't had like a Odunze eruption week since the beginning of the season, but I think we could just get like a massive one. Yeah, go AZ Cards. I missed you posting this, but I'm glad you got into this one. Hey Nick, GM chat. Hey, GM to you, Nick. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Go AZ Cards. Not a weekday morning without a DBQ candles draft. All right, let's see. What do we get? Yeah, we'll draft Rico Dowdle. That seems good. So we get Rico Dowdle at the 10. That's pretty cool. I like that there. And then let's see what the room hands to us here. Do we want to take another running back? I mean, I could try to get Odunze here. There's no guarantee he comes around. The QB ADPs can be kind of fake. I've seen like Mahomes fall. These ADPs originally all came ported from the 12-person playbooks, which I really think people join those and just to like intentionally screw with the ADP because all the quarterbacks are in the were in the top 10 at the beginning. It was like really wonky. I think Mahomes kind of a bit of a leftover, but I also think because Rice lives over here, Mahomes has been kind of anchored to where Rice goes. So Copper Prices takes Odunze. So there you go. Don't just take it from me. Copper Price is very, very sharp player. He's drafting Odunze there. We're back on the board. We got Pickens, Scatabo, Debo, Waddle. Oof. I mean, Krosky Merritt's here. I guess that's fine. Why don't I do... I'll do George Pickens. I think he's a little overpriced with Dak probably coming back. Excuse me, with not Dak, with Lamb probably coming back. But he's been so darn good. And if Lamb doesn't come back, then Pickens probably pushes into the first round, I would say. At the very least, I think he should probably flip Rice. And obviously Lamb, if Lamb doesn't play, flip Lamb. Tough spot here. I would have loved Odunze, as I noted before. I have a ton of Scatabo already. Krosky Merritt's fine. But I think I would rather take a punt on that next tier of like Mason, Vidal. Who else goes around there? That's it. Maybe there is no next tier. Maybe that was my last shot to have have running backs I'm excited about. But either way, we're gonna give it a whirl. Lay the House RM, our king. Hey, Lay the House RM. Really appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Thanks again, as always, for the support. Sladen noting the answer is Trey Tucker. Sladen, I have not taken any Trey Tucker this Dawg Bowl, but maybe I should. He's going to be in the right game script for it in all likelihood, and it does not appear that the answer is Jacoby Myers this season. We're all the projection industrial complex has finally knocked him down, so we don't have to worry about big ETR coming along and forcing us all to play Jacoby Myers against our will. But yeah, I don't think Trey Tucker's is like a terrible scroll at all. We see Mason go here at pick 23. Maybe that's somebody I could have possibly taken here at 15. But again, we'll play the kind of inverse of the Q tag on Lamb, and we'll do the opposite and see if we can get Pickens. Dowdle might be hard to get. If Lamb is out, this combination will be exceedingly difficult for us to achieve. So we'll see if we can't make this work. We're down to having 5 limbs left. Oh man, I'm excited for the pairings to come out. I haven't had one against like people I really know. I've had a couple against folks who've like reached out on Twitter and whatnot, which is really cool. But I haven't had like too many of someone I like interact with super frequently. And so I'm hoping that happens because I only have one left. Started with 47. We only got one survivor, but squeaked through last week. It's kind of a gross team, but we've I think it had about 110 points when it got through, so middle of the pack. It wasn't one of those like 70-point teams that got by, but tough stuff. Go AZ Cards wanted Judkins at 4. Thought it was a lock. That's a little disappointing because I've said this. I think I said this yesterday that my heart of hearts is Judkins over A-Chain, and I really believe it. I think that Cleveland is going to embarrass the Miami footballing Dolphins. The only solace is that A-Chain is kind of game script proof. If the Dolphins are losing, they just throw it to him more. Whereas Judkins does not really get the passing down work. So if the game kind of goes the other way, where Cleveland ends up in more catch-up mode, it might be tougher sledding for Judkins, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Lay the house arm. Judkins is one of my favorite rushing props this week in A-Chain receiving unders. All right, well, that's good news. Lay the house arm very sharp in the sports betting streets. So if he's on that, I am glad to hear it. All right, will Tyler give me J.K. Dobbins? The answer is probably no. We also can get Dak with Pickens, which is not going to be rare by any stretch of the imagination, but is kind of nice, and then we don't have to worry about quarterback. Yeah, Dobbins goes. That was it. That was it for running back. Running back's over. I'm not going to overthink it. I've got the Dak drafter over. Excuse me, the Lamb drafter over there. So let's not get cute. Sorry, copper prices. You can get Caleb, and that's fine for you. So we got Dowdle, Pickens, Dak. So far, again, a very paint by numbers team. All we've done is kind of go along with ADP. We took the Dowdle ADP value, took Pickens slightly ahead of ADP. I think like 2 picks. But again, we're trying to build a team. It's going to be tougher to build as the week goes on. And of course, if Lamb is fully in, this team might be easier to build if Pickens falls. But either way, I don't think Pickens is going to drop that much with just how good he is and the game environment looking so positive there. We could potentially take Tet and just overstack things against the Jets. There's also the possibility that that's a truly, truly foul game environment there. I'll take Worthy. I think I'll take a Worthy share. We're kind of going to lever ourselves off of the Rice teams here. Xavier Worthy can get there on low volume. And we're not going to be a Worthy Mahomes team. We saw Mahomes go at 19. I think Worthy Mahomes is going to be common. I think you could even find teams that end up with Worthy Mahomes and Rice. I think that 3-person stack could happen. So we'll take a Worthy share. I think that's not too bad. And maybe we'll get lucky with a late one of the late running back options, but that's where we are at now. Go Easy Cards. Even though Dobbins fell, that trio start not very unique. Are you talking about Jaden, Debo, and Dobbins? Go Easy Cards, because I'm not sure if that's the trio you mean. Sorry, I missed who you meant. But all right, we can take a breather. Let's see what our friends are doing. Go Easy Cards. He's got A-Chain, Ladd, and Sutton. Yeah. I definitely like that. This is kind of nice because Herbert and Nix go a bit later if that's the direction he wants to go with stacking. And those are quarterbacks that you're like happy to end up with. He just takes Herbert here. I think that makes a ton of sense. So very nice team, well constructed. Nothing going on out of the ordinary there. We can keep the board up so everyone can see what else is going on. Offhand, the only oddball thing I'm seeing is this Milligan person going Ferguson, Kelsey. Now, I know he has Mahomes, but it's like, well, we don't need to like compound errors. Like maybe he wishes he'd taken someone instead of Fergie at 30. Like maybe he didn't think Kelsey was going to come back to him, but I think if that's, I don't know. I don't think this is good. I don't think going double tight end is good, especially in the 3rd and 4th round. I think that is drawing way too thin. You guys know I'll rarely say like do or don't do something. This is one where I'm pretty comfortable saying like don't do this. Okay, yeah, the Daniels, Debo, Dobbins start. Yeah, I don't disagree because I feel like people do take Daniels over on this side of the board, and Debo will go down to 20, and people will take Dobbins at his ADP. So I agree. Go easy cards. This person didn't get any kind of unique combo. They just like built the same team from the 9 hole instead of the 4 hole. And then they like got Alvin Kamara instead of like a wide receiver. Like I don't think that I don't think what they did was bad by any means, but yeah, I think you're right. There's not any great value. Getting Dobbins for me, I think would have been tough to get Dowdle, Pickens, Dobbins start. But then of course I would have had to forego Dak because I imagine copper prices would have taken Dak over Fields, but I'll never know if that was the direction he was planning to go there. All right, so we see a couple of these quarterbacks go kind of early. Dart we've seen go in the last round. Dart going here. Dart Scatabo, I've done it, but I don't love it. If I do it, don't get mad. I think it's more doable in the Dawg Bowl, but to me, it's just the Walmart version of Saquon and Hurts, where I think they're a little. Probably over time, we're going to find them being a little bit negatively correlated because Dart eats the rushing touchdowns. It doesn't pass to a ton. Doesn't pass to Scatabo a ton. Similar to how Barkley gets a few catches, but not like tons of work. I was hoping he'd get more, but he hasn't. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Let's see what we want to do. We need Pollard, Travion, Ramondre went. Ramondre is probably who I would have clicked there. We could go 3 wide receiver. Darren Waller goes. I like Jerry Jeudy quite a bit. I'm fine making this a 3 wide receiver team. I think some of these running backs later okay. But let's just make a Jerry Jeudy team. And then end with a tight end. I was deciding if I needed to click a tight end. Copper Prices is going to take one. But I feel like I'm okay enough with Henry, Taylor, or Mayer. I'm kind of neutral to which one of those I get. Whereas the wide receivers, I do like Jerry Jeudy a lot against the Dolphins. So let's see who Copper Prices takes. He obviously needs a running back. So let's see who his scroll running back is, because we can glean a little information from a good player. He takes Mason Taylor and Kareem Hunt. Oh my God. I was not expecting to see Kareem Hunt go. Go easy cards. Wanted Pacheco last round. Too many people at the end of the board can draft an RB. Yeah, I hear you. I hear that there. I'm not getting scrolly, but I'll just take Hunter Henry here. I mean, Tennessee, it seems like New England might be able to beat Tennessee however they want. Michael Mayer was a scroll. I don't know if he's still going to be a scroll. I think by the end he might end up close to 100% owned. This guy going 2 tight ends kind of pushed everybody up at least one spot. But we have got Go Easy Cards needs a tight end, and Magic Carp needs a tight end. So we'll see who they take. Our team ends up being Rico Dowdle, George Pickens, Dak Prescott, Xavier Worthy, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Henry. So a 1-1-3-1 on our team, as opposed to the general preferred 1-2-2-1. I think that's fine. Go Easy Cards wanted to dedicate my team to the AFC South. All right, let's see what you did. A-Chain, Ladd, Sutton, Herbert, Pacheco. Yeah, I mean, other than A-Chain sneaking in, I see I see what you've done here. Let's see. You need a tight end. I wonder who you will take. I have someone in mind. I'm wondering if you're going to do it. No, I got you. Sorry. I run Burgundy it. Oh, Michael Mayer. All right. I'll be candid. I thought you were going to take Gadsden and do the double stack. I thought you were going to take Gadsden there with Herbert and Ladd, but I do like Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer quite a bit, and I don't think you need to double stack Herbert. But that was my guess of what you were going to do. Go AZ Cards. All right. So that was a pretty fun team there. We got very close to getting some big ADP value, but we were able to get this pick and stack. I think picking on the Dolphins makes sense. Picking on, we all think Vrabel might run up the score. Hunter Henry certainly could be a big part of that. And, Xavier Worthy, taking Rice at pick 11 and Worthy at pick 39, that delta doesn't seem right. I don't think there should be 4 rounds of difference between Worthy and Rice. I just don't. Well, Magikarp takes Gadsden, so I was directionally accurate. Interesting. No, I don't think your team's interesting. I think your team's good. I think that's a good team. If you took a tight end there and you took Pacheco last, do I really feel like Ertz, Goddard, Waller, or Mason Taylor are that much better than Mayer? Maybe a couple points of projection, but I really like Michael Mayer this week. I like him a lot, and he will not be 100% owned. Whereas I'm pretty sure Goddard will be. Waller, I think I've seen him go last or undrafted. So I don't know. It might be. I'm not going to give you an interesting. I think your team's good. Go AZ Cards. All right, that was fun. I appreciate that. Let's see, where are we at in another? Because sometimes these things just chain fill. All right, let's do another. Let's try to roll the. Let's go with the RNG gods. Let's try to get one more here. Let's try to get one from the left side of the board. So, Dawg Bowl Q2. All right, sweet. Again, really appreciate y'all hanging out. If you don't mind throwing a like, throwing a sub. I think tomorrow we should hopefully be back in the normal studio setup. Oh my God, we got pick 12. This is so brutal. I cannot roll the left side of the board to save my life here. I keep getting these teams on the right. Not great. All right. Well, this is another tough room. We got a Magikarp back again. We got Buster's Boys. We got Crutches. We got Go AZ Cards, League of Items. It's another room of killers here. Wait, SRM, sub to this man in his ginormous edge. Yeah, well, I'm vaporizing my edge here by drafting these from the right side of the board. I need some teams. I need some teams from the left, and I did a few last night off stream, and I keep getting the 9 through 12 position here. So tough scenes here. I don't expect a whole heap of sympathy, but it's tough going. It's also, I feel like it's more fun for the viewer to get drafts from different positions. So I do like to vary it, but I have no control over this. Slayton says, I've got the 101 once and the 106 0 times. My first 2 dozen. I feel you. I don't think I've gotten the 101. I don't. Completed. Let me see. 12 person. I guess I've done 15. This is only showing 14, but you guys saw the 15th team. I don't think I have. No, I don't have Jonathan Taylor. Somehow I have 3 Josh Jacobs teams. Maybe I shouldn't be complaining. I don't have any A-Chain, and I have 2 Judkins teams. But I also think one of my Jacobs teams I got at the 4. I don't think that was from the 2. I think I've had the 2 hole twice, and then I got Jacobs as a faller. But I have yet to get the 1 hole, and I have no A-Chain. And I don't think I have Saquon either. So anyway, these are not real problems, but I did want to on stream. I did not want to immediately be drafting over on the right side of the board again, but it's a little different. We're on the turn. It does just mean we have no pushing decisions. It's nice when you're in the 11, because it's okay, well, the 12 can't take position, can't take a running back or can't take a receiver, so you can do stuff like that. Here it's just well, I'm just gonna click the 2 guys I want. All right, let's see what the room gives to us. And so far we have 8 running backs in a row. 8 running backs in a row. My God. My God, it is. People are so running back thirsty. 9 running backs in a row. 9 running backs in a row. Do we see 10? Do we see 10? We see 10. Can we get 11? Can we get 11 running backs in a row? I'm gonna do something that might be absolutely terrible. What if? What if? I hope no one's Interstellar yelling. I know I love Romo Dunze. What if we go Lamb and Pickens? What if we double stack Dallas? What if? What if that's what we need? We're going to try that. This might be absolutely god-awful. But also, if that game truly shoots out, how many people in this are going to go Lamb Pickens? It could be all of the worst drafters here. It could be me and everybody who has like just come not even close to finishing. But we're gonna try something. At least one of them plays. Yes. Oh well. I mean, if Lamb doesn't play, we're dead. Like I think every team that takes Lamb at this point, if he's out, is toast. I don't think you can swap from a first round pick to an undrafted guy and really have hope. Like you would need to get so lucky that your replacement that you picked the right guy that went off, and then like all the other teams that have a first round pick, like they could conceivably be swapping into that player as well, or just draft him in the 6th. Like it's so thin. Saw Dave do it. So Dave, very sharp player. I did not see Dave do that. So if Dave did that, hey, first of all, Aaron, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. If Dave's doing it, I am in because he is super sharp drafter. All right, I dig it. All right, awesome, Lay the House Iron. Well, we're you know what? I promised you guys we'd try something fun on stream. If I'm gonna have to draft over on the right side of the board, we'll do something you're not gonna see super often. If we don't get Dak, though, I'm gonna be honest. I will be very disappointed if I can't get Dak on this team. That would be a big bummer because obviously we could get there with a different quarterback, but it would feel like a disappointment. So we're gonna be crossing our fingers. Dak's ADP is 31. So we have to hope that there's 5, people of conviction and courage who can pass up an unstacked Dak Prescott and let us have it. But it's okay if not. There are enough quarterbacks that go, and maybe it'll be a blessing, and we'll be able to get a couple of strong picks there if we don't get it. But as of now, that is what we're going to be hoping for. I do have to think that the ADP of 31 is normally because Lamb or Pickens is going in this spot, kind of like in where Go Easy Cards is going, like around pick 9. Like one of those people in the 9-10 hole has Dak, has one of the receivers. I don't know. I'm imagining he's kind of anchored to Lamb and Pickens, and that explains his ADP, but you never know. Oh no! My goal this week is 0 Scatabo in his fantasy points match. Please don't put me in timeout. It's okay, Go Easy Cards. You have enough capital here where you can say absurd things like that, and you won't get put in timeout there. But I hope you're wrong, because I have a lot of Scatabo this week and the best ball bags. So I need that to not be the case, but we will see. Hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Sorry, I got a message from the kiddos' school, but it was a generic message to all parents, not please come get your child. So we're good. We're good there. All right, let's see what the best and brightest are doing. We Go AZ Cards. He's got Dowdle and Ladd. Spike took Fergie. Don't do it. Don't do it, Spike. You don't need Dak with Ferguson. You can live without him. Be imaginative. Be strong. Be brave. Don't do it, Spike. He's thinking. Oh, this will be very unique paired with Jonathan Taylor. No one's going to do this. All right, he takes DeAndre Swift. That's fine. He doesn't take him. We got Buster's boy. He goes Saquon, Trey McBride. So we see 3 elite tight ends go over in the first 4 drafters. Jalen Waddle going. Jalen Waddle's a guy that I'd like more of, but he does kind of live over on this side of the board. Mason goes at pick 27. That's about as late as you're really going to start seeing him as the days go on. He had 2 really tough matchups the last 2 weeks, and I like that. Favorite pick is Naked. Well. All right, Vidal goes. There goes one of our potential running backs. Jalen Hurts goes. There's one of our potential naked quarterbacks. And now let's see what the ADP is at. Let's see. Are we insulated? Mahomes goes or does Crutches have? No, Mahomes goes unstacked. The unstacked quarterback epidemic. Now we've got to sweat our friend Go AZ Cards going here. Tucker Kraft. All right. So now what I'm going to do, if someone takes Dak, I'm going to take take Love. We'll see. We will see. I actually thought of Lovecraft as a possible stack if Dak goes. Drake May is still here, which might help insulate us from the unstacked quarterback community. There goes Worthy. Let's see what Patrick Barnes YouTube does. All right, let's see. He takes Olave. Let's see what Lee does here. So people know what I'm thinking. If he does take Dak, I'll do May Diggs double stack, or excuse me, a May Diggs stack right here, which I actually don't hate anyway. But I think it's a little too clever to pass on Dak when you have Lamb and Pickens. But that's so you guys know my thought process, what I'm thinking. So yeah, I mean, again, it'd be too cute to go May Diggs. I think if I had this combination again, maybe that's where I would take it. I don't think I need Kelsey. I think at this point I'm resigned to like really scrolly running backs. I kind of like Diggs anyway, so let's just do Dak Diggs here. I don't think reaching for Kamara, I don't think reaching for Ramondre at this point makes sense. I mean, could I take McLaurin and game stack it? Sure. To me, his Q tag is definitely more questionable, and I don't really love McLaurin that much anyway. So we'll do Diggs. We're going to do another three receiver team. You know, again, I could see the argument for taking McLaurin there. I'm just, I don't know. I'm a little skeeved out by the McLaurin stuff. So that's where we're at. We do get the Dak double. We go Dak, Lamb, Pickens, and Diggs. So this team's going to end with a running back and a tight end. All right, not bad. Patrick Barnes YouTube, he gets a nice fall on Drake May after smartly pushing May around the turn. I don't know how much thought Patrick Barnes does, because honestly, I'm not sure if he autos or not, but maybe he did see like, okay, this drafter has Odunze, so Caleb makes sense. I double stacked, so I'm going to take Dak so I can push May. I don't know if that was his thought process, but if it was, that's how it played out. All right, we see Go AZ Cards. He does not take Love there. I've actually seen Love go in the last round, so I think it makes sense to not necessarily panic on that. Taking Pittman opens the door to stacking Daniel Jones if you want to. So Go AZ Cards remaining flexible there. Takes a nice receiver. Like the team you've got going there. Go AZ Cards. Crutches, very sharp drafter. Let's see what he's doing. He's got Breece Hall, Scatabo, Mahomes, and QJ. QJ is a nice pick because now you're at the point in the draft where the Q tag stuff is a little less painful if that's where you end up going, but you also are getting a guy who's probably going to rise if he's in. So I like the pick there from one Mr. Crutches. We see Herbert goes with Vidal. I mean, I guess that's fine. Again, unstacked QB has become something of an epidemic in these streets. Danny Jones goes to the Tyler Warren drafter. Not shocking there. Doesn't have a wide receiver yet, so makes sense for that. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of QBs ripped off, unstacked. decent chance that the Dobbins drafter ends up with, I was going to say Fields, Dart, or Bo Nix probably makes sense for this guy. So, yeah, a lot of the quarterbacks are gone. We only have 3 teams need quarterbacks still. So, and when you get to these points in the draft, if you're paying attention, you can really push the quarterback you want to the end. Like, go AZ cards. Everybody to his right already has a quarterback. To his left, only 2 teams left that do need one, depending on which way the board and stuff is going. So Spike's going to end his team with a quarterback, possibly setting up Rattler or if Love comes all the way back to him. But yeah, very everyone. I feel like people mostly stayed in their lanes in this draft. We didn't see anything too out of the ordinary, at least in my opinion of how things went down. But definitely looking forward to getting a little more information about the injuries this week. Very meaningful practice reports are going to be coming out today. So a big one, of course, to keep an eye on is, as we mentioned, the QJ news, because that will impact, Lad at 17 versus QJ at 42. You have to think if QJ's in, that gap closes, and that probably is mostly QJ coming up versus Lad falling. I don't think Lad's going to fall all that much, but he might dip a few. He might dip a few spots, but certainly QJ in the 4th round will not be available a day and a half from now if QJ logs a full practice today. All right, let's see. So we need a running back, as does Lee. We also need a tight end. So Lee and I are in the same boat. We'll see what he takes first. Ertz does make a certain amount of sense for me, being that this is, it is a bring back to Dallas. I'm not, like, again, mentioned this 1,000 times, I'm not like bring back oriented, but I think that's a decent enough spot for him. Let's see. So I think we should do Ertz. And then the question is Travion. All right, I'm gonna do a guy that's not getting drafted most of the time, and it's probably way too fancy. But we're gonna do Zach Ertz and Kendre Miller. Now, Kendre Miller is risky, and I don't see him getting drafted a lot. The thesis on Kendre Miller is, one, there is a world where Kamara gets traded midweek. I have not heard anything to that. The last we've heard is that, Kamara is staying put, and that's not happening. But he has been eating into Kamara's workload, slowly as time has gone on. And also, who is the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears? Well, it's one Dennis Allen, who hated him, famously put him on IR when he was healthy, just because he was so sick of him. So could I see a revenge game light from Kendre Miller? Absolutely. So we will take Kendre Miller in the 6th round. I don't think he's going to be very highly owned. I don't think the reasoning is the most sound ever, but we're going to give that one a whirl. So we'll take a last round Kendre Miller on this team. So this team will end up being Lamb and Pickens, double stack with Dak, Steph Diggs, Zach Ertz, and the punt of punts in Kendre Miller. I think Kendre Miller is definitely too thin for the 6 persons. He's almost too thin for the 12 persons. The reasoning is a little tortured, but we've seen stranger things happen. So that's where we're at. Go AZ Cards notes, if Golden was taken, I had Zay Jones queued up for my interesting label. I like the Zay Jones click. I think that's fine with MHJ out. So I don't mind that. Yeah, so you get Love with your last pick. Yeah, I like your team. Go AZ Cards, Dowdle, Ladd, and then a double stack with Kraft, Golden, and Love, and then Michael Pittman. Perfectly reasonable team. Go AZ Cards. Nice job there. Crutches, he goes Brees, Scatterbo, Mahomes, QJ, Kelsey, and then Trey Tucker. So he does ultimately stack Mahomes with Kelsey and and adds Trey Tucker. So I forget who before was mentioning Trey Tucker, but he did in fact go to one of the better drafters on the site. So definitely somebody that should be in your late pick consideration. Other than that, trying to see if anything too noteworthy happened. Oronde Gadsden, we see him get drafted again. He got drafted last draft. A little bit of steam there. We see Booty goes and not to the Drake May drafter. That's somewhat unusual, I think. I don't see Booty go every time. Every time I've seen him go, it's been to May. So in this case, it does not. The Justin Fields Mason Taylor stack is definitely one that might be too cheap in retrospect. Certainly not without risk. Jets offense looked historically bad last game, but if they do turn it around at all, that is not a bad value there with the ceiling we've seen from Fields and with Garrett Wilson out. Like, who else is going to get the ball? So, and then the one hole took Spencer Rattler with Rashid Shaheed. All right. Not bad. All right, so let's hop in a main BR. Let's do a couple of these, and then I'll probably get on out of here for today. But really appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. Thanks so much for doing these drafts with me. Thanks for hanging out, talking through the process, because it really helps me to be able to talk out these ideas with you. Saw us attempt the Dak double. Might be a little thin, but we're gonna hope that is not heavily done. But again, with Dave doing it, I truly do feel better, because it was not comfortable. It was not a comfortable click in there. But again, sometimes when you're at the 12, we saw like literally 11 running backs go in a row. And if we're gonna beat that cavalcade of running backs, we're gonna need something kind of pull a rabbit out of our hat, and maybe that's what we need. So, all right, we've got we're off. We are off. Let's see who's in the room. Go AZ Cards. Okay, nice. Go AZ Cards at the 2. I'm in at the 4. Hey, Gunnar Ross, GM to you. And look who's, you join the stream, you hang out, you like and sub, and you get the one hole. I mean, my goodness, could things go any better? Absolutely not. So, hey, Gunnar Ross, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Good luck in this draft and in your week in its entirety. But let's see what you and Go AZ Cards can concoct over there on the left. All right, let's see. I'm switching to feeding the ducks. And you may ask why. It's because for some reason I mentally tune it out, and I keep tuning in to the same part, and I'm actually slowly being driven insane. So we're going to switch that up. And maybe with the switch in the music, we can start getting some drafts on the left side of the board. But they say those things are unrelated, but we'll see. We will see. All right, so Jonathan Taylor, the unsurprising pick from the 1. Go AZ Cards on the clock here. I think it's too early in the week for me to go too rogue. I am definitely going to start, doing some drafts where maybe I start with the 8th, 9th pick to kind of skip this first round pick range. But I think I want to kind of build some normal combinations. I'm light on Justin Jefferson, which I don't love. I know I'm a little worried about the JJ McCarthy thing, but I'm also a little worried about Saquon. Judkins, I feel better about him than I probably should, considering he hasn't necessarily shown everything we want to see. If the game script gets away from him, he's not game script proof whatsoever. But it would not stun me to see Judkins as the top scoring running back this week against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are part of the reason that Rico Dowdle looked like Barry Sanders, and I want to tail that as much as I can. Picking on, Vidal ran for 130 yards, and Vidal is not very good. So we're going to pop that up. Do we want Rashee Rice? Again, I said I thought Rashee Rice was overpriced. And again, someone asked who I thought might win the week. Romo Dunze. Let's grab him. Let's do Judkins O'Doonsay. We're gonna play our favorite plays of the week. That's what we're gonna do here in this draft. So we're not gonna sacrifice too much ADP value, but we're gonna try to build a team we feel really truly great about. So we got Judkins O'Doonsay. Daniels goes at the 10. And now the friends and family are up with Go AZ Cards and Gunnar Ross. So let's see which way they take. Things. All right, Lad goes at pick 11. Also minor announcement. Pete already put this on his page and on his thumbnail, so I don't think I'm stepping on any toes, but I will be Pete's guest on After Dark this week. So I will be on at 8 p.m. Eastern time for his members only After Dark stream. Really excited to do that. I am so honored that Pete reached out and asked if I would be on that. So I will be on After Dark, so you will get the full experience. Pete's such a good host. I'm excited to do that. So we will see. Yeah, you will get you all will get that. Yeah, Gunnar Ross, I'm over the moon that I get to do that. So it's something I'm so looking forward to. And again, it's so yeah, tune into that if you're a member of the Deposit Kingdom, which I mean honestly all of us should be, but I'm thrilled to get that chance. Pikachu, love to see it. Excited to watch you boys. Yeah, I am thrilled. So, I'm sure I'll retweet it when that comes out. But it is on his page and scheduled. So I don't think I'm breaking any announcing rules there, being that it is now out there. All right, so we got Judkins O'Doonsay and Rashi Rice. What do we want to do? I think we just take Tyler Warren. Seems good. Let's take Tyler Warren. If we're going to make this team of all guys we like, let's do a Tyler Warren team. Steven says, hopefully you will get some more subs. Yeah. I mean, that would be awesome. It's been so fun, growing the channel. It's definitely picked up a little bit since the Dawg Bowl, which is great, since qualifying for that. And yeah, I set a goal for 200 before the season started, and I think we hit it in like week 2 or week 3, and we got to 250 a lot quicker than I thought. So hopefully it keeps going, because I love doing these morning streams with you all, and occasionally at other times when I was traveling, we did the candlelight, the best ball by candlelight streams, where I had to like whisper because I was in a living room and my wife and son were sleeping in the room next door, so I had to be quiet, but I didn't want to go a week without streaming. We were on mountain time, so it would have been like, starting at 6 a.m. It would have been just like 6:30 a.m. It would have been too tough for me. So we did evening streams, and those were kind of fun. All right, let's see. So we got O'Doonsay. There's a few different running backs we like. We don't need a running back right here because this guy can't take another. So do we want to do... You know what we'll do here? We'll make this a Daniel Jones team. We'll do Daniel Jones, pair him with Tyler Warren. Obviously, we could have taken Caleb or Hurts or someone else unstacked, but we'll do a Danny Dimes team. I said I was going to take all guys I like, so I probably should make this a Scatabo team. But I don't know. Part of me thinks we keep rolling with the Mason Taylor's gone. Go AZ Cards, and I didn't mean Mason Taylor. I meant Jordan Mason. He's gone. All right, we'll take Scatabo. That's fine. Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't fault. I do not fault Go AZ Cards for taking him. I think he's going to continue to rise, as we've been saying all stream. So, Stephen, I will lie in chat telling everyone chat is the best out there. Oh God. No, not a lot. Well, I appreciate it. I never claim to be the best, but I do think we have some fun here, and I love doing this. But I do appreciate you, Steven, so much, and I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, it'd be fantastic to get those sub numbers up. I'll be thrilled when I hit 300, and every time I get one more, it makes me happy that we're doing things right, and trying to grow the right way, and just have some fun doing these. So, all right, this team is really not breaking any ground as far as teams I've built. Judkins, Odunze, Rice, Warren, Danny Dimes, or Indiana Jones, I guess now, in Cam Scatabo. Go AZ cards. He goes Jacobs, Ladd, McBride, Debo, Mason, Hurts. So unstacked Hurts, perfectly reasonable team there. Gunnar Ross, I really like this team. Taylor, Dowdle, and then Mahomes with Worthy. Didn't have to get him back to back. Again, I've been saying this difference is even more exaggerated between Rice and Worthy in the Dawg Bowl than here. I just don't think it's right. Maybe this is a little more close to accurate, 16 to 24, but like 8 to almost 40 is to me just crazy. And then AJ Brown and Tucker Kraft. AJ Brown is not drafted in all of these contests. I think he's only like 5,600 on DK, and nobody wants to play him. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when AJ Brown and Devonta Smith were like 79 and 7,700. Like these things have a tendency to turn around, and when they do, they can turn around quickly. So I like the team both of you built. Go AZ cards and Gunnar Ross there. Hey, Copper Pieces, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Are you Copper Prices on here, or have I been reading Copper Pieces wrong? Either way, Copper Pieces, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. I appreciate it. Gunnar Ross wanted Fannin. Oh, but Colt Fan G. See, what if it's not Colt Fan? What if it's not Colt Fan? It's actually Colt Fannin, but they like ran out of room and they wanted the GMF part. I don't know. Maybe we could have seen that one come. Oh, you are Copper. Why did I think it was Copper Price? Is it? I feel like an idiot. But I really appreciate you coming out. I always highlight when you're in the draft rooms, because I know Pieces. I've said prices every time. I've said Copper Prices every time. And I thought it was a reference to that like ancient Babylonian tablet where the person's complaining about their grade of copper. And I feel like maybe 3 of you know what the hell I'm talking about right now. But yeah, anyway, there's some like tablet from like 3,000 years ago. It's definitely Prices. Now I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know. Now I don't know if you're the same person and your Pieces here and Prices there, or there's a Copper Pieces and a Copper Prices, and now we're in ancient Assyria, and I need to get out of the city of Ashur because it is burning. All right, let me hop into another BR, and again, I need to hire an editor just to edit out me being a complete idiot, which would be on a long a lot of it. I looked at the CU Comex market for work. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I never traded commodity. In a past life, I was actually an equity and fixed income trader for a brief period. Never did commodities. But either way, appreciate you coming in and hanging out and putting up with the confusion here. It does not look okay. Gunnar Ross got in here. All right, good. So we got one friend and family member in here. I still can't get the left side of the board, no matter what I do, which is unfortunate. But we are here at the 6-7 turn. I'm like ashamed to admit I don't even know what 6-7 is. I'm aware it's a meme and the kids say it, but I don't even know the context at which it is appropriate to say it. It's the first time I've ever felt truly dusty. Because most of the time the kids say something, it's like, okay, the millennial version of this saying is that, like, fine, we can draw an equivalent. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. And it scares me. It scares me. And now I'm at the 6-7 turn, and now I'm thinking about this thing that I don't understand. Pat Moore Poker, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out this morning, putting up with the copper pieces versus prices confusion, watching me date myself as a not 6-7 understander, and trying to also navigate these very difficult draft rooms. It is a challenge, and now we have no running backs here. We'll do Jefferson. What do we want to do? Let's do Jefferson Odunze. I think there's a world these are the top 2 scoring wide receivers, and maybe we can dredge up some running back value here. Gunnar Ross says Rome is going to rock it up when ETR comes out. Someone asked, I don't know if you were here like earlier in the stream, someone asked who I thought you might need to win the BR, and I said Rome Odunze. Like I really think he could be the guy that puts up 30. Quid pro quo. Hey, thanks for coming in, hanging out. Today's 0-day calls picked up all my best ball punts at least. Hey, I'm glad your endeavors in the market are going well. I appreciate that, and I hope your best ball punts go equally as well. I have some. I have a lot of Miles Sanders calls that expired at 0. It is now Sanders, Miles Sanders Q. I messed. That was supposed to be a ticker joke, and I bombed it. But anyway, Miles Sanders it went bankrupt, and all my position in it went to 0. As did some of them, but that's the most embarrassing one because I took a lot of him late, thinking I was sneakily getting the Dallas running back for cheap when Javonte already was cheap. That's one that's going to bug me because it wasn't like Javonte was that expensive, and I should have been mixing that up more. And instead instead of buying the discount running back, I bought the clearance running back, and that was leverage Miles as well. Yeah, I was leveraged long Miles Sanders, and now I'm getting the margin call and I'm not answering my phone. All right, so we got Odunze, we got Justin Jefferson. What do we want to do here? I do think if I don't take Jordan Mason now, one of these apes is going to grab him. So let's do Jordan Mason, and I think there's a chance Trey McBride is going to be head and shoulders better than the other guys. I like to scroll. Oh, I did Jefferson and Mason. Not the lineup to do that. Not in the main BR. If this was the Deposit Kingdom contest, I would say, okay, this is fine. But you have to beat too many people, I think. I messed up. I just wanted more Jordan Mason. I should have just taken Krosky Merritt there. All right. See, I got excited about going leveraged wrong, and I got liquidated yet again here. So, all right, not the best draft we're gonna do, but let's hopefully we got Gunnar Ross in here. You're gonna carry the torch, Gunnar Ross, with Judkins, Pickens, Warren, and Dak. So you still have some hope here. I like that. If we're gonna salvage this team, I wonder if we just do a JJ McCarthy overstack. No one, I think JJ McCarthy's going to start this week. I think Wentz is injured, so I think McCarthy's coming back. No one's going to own McCarthy, so maybe we just try to game stack it and hope the game just goes nuke. Or I guess we only have to dodge this guy from taking Jalen Hurts. Maybe we do a Hurts AJ Brown or Hurts Devonta Smith, and maybe we get lightning in a bottle in that game. That game is like the Giga Smash game. But yeah, that's a no. Yeah, I messed up. This is a transparency channel. I will tell you all when I screw up, and I definitely did there. That was not the plan at all. I got hyper focused on trying to pick up Mason shares without realizing this team. I like the Jefferson Odunze start, and Javonte. If Javonte fell to me, that would have been really nice. I really like Javonte this week. I think he's too cheap. And then I was just staring at Krosky Merritt, not very excited. So let's do Hurts and Smith here. So we'll do Hurts Devonta. Again, this is this is thin, but we're going to try to bail it out with a team that it will not be duped because it's not great. But so we went Jefferson, Odunze, Mason, McBride, Hurts, Devonta there. Yeah, again, I think this would be a great like engage 8 team, or cover 4, like one of the smaller contests. I would be like, oh, this is kind of a fun team. It's gonna be low owned, but it might, we're telling ourselves a story where one game goes off. It got Jalen Hurts, like, who at a pretty deep discount, paired with a guy who's not going every time. There was a world where we would have gotten AJ Brown. That would have been even better. So don't hate the concept, but this is not the right tournament for it. Gunnar Ross goes Judkins, Pickens, Warren, Dak, and then McMillan and Swift. Yeah. Perfectly reasonable team there. All right, let's see. What do people want? Do they want a Dawg Bowl or a BR? Let me see. These usually don't snap fill, so let's see where we're waiting. Okay, it's snap filled. We're in a Dawg Bowl. All right, so oh my God, and I'm pick 12 again. So we have copper prices, possibly copper pieces. It does say prices. So I am not crazy off. We did not get Go Easy cards in the room. I'm at the 12 yet again. I can't believe it. I can't believe we got the 12. All right. Gunnar Ross, I agree. This is definitely coming up when big ETR comes out tonight. So we're in the 12 hole again. Let me see. What's the 146 Dawg Bowl Q3, and I forgot to tag the last BR in here. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can't get some. I actually feel like there's not a ton of the regulars in this room, so maybe we get something a little different. I don't know. We do have a Magikarp right next to us here, so I do worry he's going to like soak up any true ADP value we get here. I think he generally can count on him to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. We're at the turn yet again. But appreciate it. If y'all don't mind dropping a like, dropping a sub, that would be fantastic. Excited for the Eliminator pods to come out. I don't think they've come out yet, but really hoping my Elim team does have a fun matchup, because I have been envious of those on Twitter who are able to have those back and forths. But I think it's now at the point where if you maxed it, you're expected to have like 4 teams left, something around there, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the way the math is broken down. Most people do not have very many teams left. There's a few people with I think like 8 or 9. I don't think I've seen anyone with more than 10 to go, but I know BBMDB has done a fantastic job of giving us portfolio tools and of tracking the elims and stuff. So really cool stuff there by Patrick Donovan, and really appreciate what he's done for the community and just made it easier. I wish there was a DraftKings version, because I have no idea how I'm doing over there. It is so hard to tell how much you're advancing. Yeah, Go Easy cards. I'd love to see how you handle the front of the draft. Guess I have to wait until week 14. Yeah. Actually, Go Easy cards. I wrote to Underdog. I'm like, don't give me the front half of the draft. I don't want any of these guys to learn my tendencies. But you guys, my tendency is to like accidentally draft 2 players on the same team in a 6 person. So not great. Yeah, 9 is the most elims left. Okay. Is that Dan? I want to say Dan might be the one who has the most, but pretty cool to have 9 left, because that's the math is mathing that you should be running out. All right, so we see Barcy, he takes Jaden Daniel, so we're not going to get 11 running backs in a row. There goes Rico Dowdle. All right. we are having fun. All right, let's see what the room does decide to give to us, though. All right, Justin Jefferson goes. Genty goes. All right, let's do Odunze. I'm doing Odunze, and I'm deciding if I want Krosky Merritt. I'm deciding if I want Scatabo. I'm deciding if I want Mason here. That's what's going through my head. If you're wondering why I'm blankly staring at the screen, we're definitely taking Odunze. I think I'll do Scatabo because I think I like him the most out of these running backs. But you know what? No, let's do something. Let's try it. Let's do Odunze Waddle. And again, we're just gonna try to catch up at running back. I don't know. I like Waddle. I mean, I like Scatabo, but again, we're gonna try to get a little unique over here. If I think Odunze really is who you need, maybe pairing him with somebody he's not going to be with that much. I don't think Odunze Waddle is going to be common, and I could see Waddle, being the only thing that works on the Dolphins. I don't know. We're going to try some stuff. The 12 is so tough. I could have just gone by ADP, but we're trying to navigate some stuff, so we'll see. Nick said, not sure as the most now. I had the most last. Wow, Nick, that's how many do you have left? That is so cool. Hey, Keith, appreciate you coming in. Congrats on the DBQ. Hey, thanks so much for the support, Keith. Really appreciate it. Glad that I get to go and do these stream drafts with you all. It is so much fun to do these, and for it to pay off in a Dawg Bowl seat was more than I ever could have asked for. So I'm just so grateful for the chance and that I get to do this with all of you. And yeah, this has been fun. Even if sometimes it doesn't seem like we're having fun getting the 12 hole repeatedly and drafting Jalen Waddle instead of running backs, we're doing our best. Nick has 6 elim teams left. Very cool, Nick. I hope one of them just makes that deep run to the finals, because the prizes go up pretty quick. They go up pretty quick. I think if you win this week, it jumps to like $100, I think, per team. So the money starts getting serious pretty soon as far as what these head-to-heads are worth. It is very hard to turn a profit in this. I think I saw a graph that the elim is the one where like the fewest amount of people make money or do better than break even. It is such a fun contest, but it is not great for the bankroll. If you don't have a team make a deep run, and most people will not. Go AZ Cards After Dark, you earned it. Congrats. Yeah, hey, Go AZ Cards. I'm thrilled. I am so excited. That is going to be so much fun. So yeah, if you all definitely recommend subbing to the Deposit Kingdom. But if you do, you can catch me on After Dark with Pete this week. But yeah, I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to do it. Sorry, I hear a weird alarm, but I think it's not in my house. I hope. I don't know if you can all hear it. Apologize if you can. I don't know what that is. Okay, it stopped. All right. Anyway, I don't know if you all heard that. It was a very strange alarm I've never heard before. Don't think it was coming from my home. All right, copper prices. He goes Jacobs Swift. That makes sense there. Yeah, we don't have too many friends and family. Normally when I'm at the turn, I get to like go over everyone's team. The weirdest thing is we've got Jettons here going McBride and Warren. Why not? Why not? That is one of the advantages of the 12, is if I push tight end to the end. I usually don't have the very last pick. Somebody else will. I should still get somebody I want if I don't take a tight end in this range. There can be a nice difference between pick 61 and pick 72, depending on what the plan is in a given week. So, we'll just see what the room hands to us. But again, the double elite tight end thing is it's so fancy, and I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's like the best way to play things. Barcy going Daniels, Mason. It's gonna stink a little bit if Mason like really goes off, because there are teams that got him like early in the week, like super late. I think I have one Mason share from the 4th round. But I mean, his ADP, I think his ADP was like 55, like when this contest opened, and it took a few. Usually, some of those ADPs are fake, and it takes like, no one's actually getting that much value. I think Mason kind of did stay late for a few hours. I think there were a few dog bowls where you were able to actually get him much later than you can now. So other times it's like, their ADP opened at that, and it's like, no, that was really never possible. I think with him it kind of was. And running back is gone again. Okay. All right, so what do we want to do here? What do we want to do? We've got Odunze and we've got Waddle. Jalen Hurts went, so again, thought about going Hurts, AJ Brown. That's out the window. I think the easiest thing to do would be to grab Caleb. Excuse me. I could do Caleb and a tight end. I could do Caleb and a receiver. Drake May went, so the May Diggs option, which was available last time, is not available. AJ Brown goes. This is such a difficult part of the board to navigate. I think doing anything other than Caleb now is just getting a little bit too cute. So maybe we just go Caleb Kraft. I like the late tight ends, but I like the flow chart, and I think I have an idea of how I want to potentially wrap up this team. So we'll do Caleb and we'll do Tucker Kraft, and we'll leave the 2 running back spots open, or the running back and a wide receiver, and see what's provided to us. So a little bit tough there. We could possibly look at like a Luther Burden if we want to double stack Caleb. I don't think that's like too awful. I mean, maybe I could be taking more Kamara, but honestly, if I'm going to take a running back like you saw last time, I would just take the shot on Kendre. I think there's something to be said for that. Being maybe bad, maybe really bad, but also we're in the 12 hole, and we need some lightning in a bottle to beat. Like is Kendre really going to be outscoring? Excuse me, is Kamara really going to be outscoring like Taylor, Jacobs, A-Chain, Judkins? It's like, man, we're fighting a big uphill battle in the running back department. Whereas like a Kendre Miller nuke game, I feel like could be like the round 5 or 6 click that you need. But he's also live to get 9 carries for 45 yards and no touchdowns, and the team is dead. But I don't know. I see a path where that could be kind of fun. And I really do think there's a world where he wants to shove it down Dennis Allen's throat, and if there is a goal line carry, they give it to Kendre this week. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that, but it's tough. It is so tough on the turn, and it's really tough. It's tough on the turn if you don't, go double running back. Like I could have gone Scatabo, Krosky, Merritt, and maybe that feels a lot more comfortable than Odunze, Waddle. Like I think that's a perfectly reasonable way to play the turn, or Mason, Merritt, Mason, Scatabo, whomever. So you're not in this position of needing these late running backs or a late running back. But I think that's going to be done a lot, and it just feels like I might as well try to shoot the moon from this spot is where I'm at. But all right, so Copper Prices is about to come up on the clock. We see Herbert get stacked with Ladd. Makes sense. Let's see which direction he takes things here. He takes Fields. All right. Fields, of course, huge amount of upside. Should be better days ahead than having to play Denver in London. And he's not losing his job this week, or at least pre-game he's not losing his job. Is there a risk he gets benched at halftime? Sure. But if he gets benched at halftime, he probably wasn't doing much anyway. Obviously, fourth quarter garbage time Fields is a thing. So maybe with Fields that's not true, but it's drawing pretty thin if it's so bad that they abandon ship in the middle of the game. It probably means the bet wasn't working that well, too. Methodology: Bears run funnel but are getting healthier. Not a mismatch, however, for them. Bears have the advantage here. You're talking about my galaxy brained Kendre play. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like the most gal-brained version of the Q tag where I think it's possible Kamara randomly gets traded. It's probably bad because there's really not enough smoke to be playing that angle. But it's not like totally and utterly impossible. But I do think there's a chance that that they do try to get Kendre more involved as time goes on, and we treat it sort of like a RJ Harvey light situation, where I know it's not perfectly analogous because he's not a rookie, but you know what you have in Kamara. If you do want to trade him, you might want to limit him so he doesn't get hurt. And again, the quasi revenge factor, and again, I just feel like at the turn, I'm like, man, I want to get a little wonky if I can. Shahid goes, which is unfortunate. I would not have minded Shahid as a bring back in there. Yeah, Keith, I know about that. Yeah, it sounded like the Kamara steam ended when he said he'd retire. It's always hard to tell like what's genuine and what's like your PR. Your PR rep says like you want to be seen as a good team player, but maybe he really would rather retire than leave the Saints. I don't know. People will say that, and then a contender comes calling, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go play for the Chiefs or whomever. Yeah, Methodology, congrats on After Dark. It's like the Johnny Carson show for best. Trust me, man. I am so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to be asked to be on. I can't wait. I'm very, very, very honored to get that to get the call there. I think we just take Ramondre. I think we just take Ramondre and Jerry Jeudy. That seems good. I'm not going to complain. Yeah, Ramondre was god awful, but this is kind of nice. Jerry Jeudy opposite Waddle, whatever there, but I think this is fine. So yeah, that's all right. All right, this team, I actually don't mind this team. I feel like for a turn team, Caleb, Ramondre feels gross, but Tennessee can't really stop anyone. We think Vrabel's going to want to run up the score. Ramondre clearly Vrabel's guy. Maybe this is the week that he gets completely phased out by Henderson, but haven't seen it yet. And then Jerry Jeudy, 13 targets last week, playing one of the worst secondaries in football. Yeah, I don't mind this team. I don't mind this team at all. Caleb, Ramondre, Romo Dunze, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Tucker Kraft. So I think from a 12 hole, this is about as good as you can do if you punt off running back to the end. Could I have taken Kendre instead of Jeudy? Sure, but I think this feels a little less thin, and we could really see a Jeudy. I've been taking a lot of Jeudy, and when we have Waddle here, I did think about building a Dolphins Cleveland little mini game correlation here. So not too bad at all. We'll stick around. We'll see what the rest of the teams do. Try to take note. The sequel, he takes MHJ. I think this is purely playing the Q tag game, which is fine. You basically just later on get to rank your players and choose somebody versus now. The only thing that's not as great here is a bunch of guys need receivers. So I think some of these options are going to go off the board. Maybe someone he would have wanted more intentionally. But we do see CG. He takes DJ Moore. I don't mind that. He's got 2 Q tag guys. So a lot of Q tag options here for the CG drafter here. But QJ himself is questionable. So is DJ Moore. Spending the night in the hospital. We don't really know too much yet. We'll see if he logs any kind of practice this week. Other notables. Again, we've seen a lot of Spencer Rattler drafted. This time it goes to the Olave and Shahid drafter. So he does a a Saints double, no bring back on that side. Copper Prices ends the team with Mason Taylor with Justin Fields. Yeah, I like the team that Copper Prices. Jacobs, Swift, Sutton, Fields, Addison, and Taylor there. I'm glad that Taylor came back to you there. I feel like that was kind of a nice break, especially with someone taking 2 wide receivers. Who was the odd man out at tight end? Yeah, Hawkinson and Gadsden are the only 2 I feel like I see drafted with any frequency that did not. And even Hawkinson, no one's taking Hawkinson. Maybe he's a little bit intriguing. All right, let's do one final BR, and then we will get on out of here. But again, I appreciate you all so much. This has been great. Waiting for 3 if anyone wants to get in. Let's do the timestamp here. 2:05. BR5. All right. Sweet. So if anyone wants to get in, we are waiting for 2 now. Yeah, those dog bowls are really tough rooms, but I think we built 2 kind of unique-ish teams from the turn there. The one Cowboys double, and then that one with Ramondre as our only running back. Hey, all right, we get the 1 hole. We got Mr. Worth at the 5. We got Gunnar Ross at the 3. If anyone else is in here, please identify yourself. But all right, this is gonna be a good note to end on. We will finish strong here. We'll finish strong. We'll get a Jonathan Taylor team, and then we will ride into the sunset. By the sunset, I mean into checking out injury reports on Twitter, because that's kind of how Wednesday, the cadence of Wednesday. Now it starts getting serious. People start looking at these things. Oh, Keith, nice Keith at the 2. All right, cool. So this is a true friends and family room here. Sorry, CDJ8 and Godchild 1K. I feel like Godchild 1K is a very 1990s nickname or username. Anyway, all right. So we're coming up. We'll take Jonathan Taylor, and we'll see what our friends are up to. Keith on the clock here takes Josh Jacobs. So far, so good. For those of you with Wednesday waivers, don't forget to put those in. Guillotine leagues, I think some of those are set for around noon or 1, depending on your league. So make sure you have your bids in there if you're in any of those. I'm still alive in Pete's Guillotine, the Deposit Kingdom Guillotine League. Bye weeks are starting to come fast and furious. I've been without Lamar Jackson, but have survived so far. We will see if he returns after the bye. I think so. Seemed like he was pretty close. This week, but we'll see, because Lord knows the Ravens. Lord knows the Ravens need him. All right, so we see Godchild here. He goes receiver. You see that pretty frequently from the 6, being that the first 5 are running backs. So Dunze goes to J-Dubs there. So now we're going to be in the position of, do we want one of these running backs? Do we push running back towards the end? I mean, just looking at the wide receiver slate, you have the 2 Dallas guys, and then just like question marks galore. Nothing feels super comfortable this week at wide receiver past like the Jefferson Odunze area. I mean, even Rice, like, first game back in almost a year. We'll see how he's worked in. I don't think we have to worry about like any kind of workload concerns, but that offense can be a little unpredictable week to week, even in the best of times. But yet we're just steaming Rashee Rice near round 1. Dowdle would be a little hard to pass on. Dowdle, JT, not rare by any means. I think I'm going to play this by continuing to take Lamb when I have Jonathan Taylor where possible, just in case, in case Lamb is in, we'll see Lamb rise. This combo will be harder and harder to get. So if we do that, it's just very tough. It's very tough. All right, we'll do Lamb and we'll do Lamb Mahomes here. I think you're going to see a lot of Lamb Dak teams. Mahomes, we're either going to get Worthy or Kelsey or just play him unstacked. We'll stay flexible there. He does not need to be paired with Rice or even Worthy, but we will we'll take this plunge to try to get a little bit unique over here. Steven knows, I agree, wide receiver seems to dry up fast, and Taylor Lamb is a good combo. Yeah, Taylor Lamb is, again, if he is full practice, no restrictions, they come out and say he's just back, this you won't be able to get this later in the week. Like, it'll be super rare. But there are a lot of teams. I mean, how full is this contest at this point? We're 11% full. So I think by no means have enough contests gone to where if you can't get it, it's like, oh no, like I can't take Lamb anymore or anything like that. I don't think that would be a good process, but I think now trying to, and that's why we try to draft throughout the week. It's because the landscape changes, and like we've said, this is a game of combinations and just getting different combinations. Where possible, I think makes a ton of sense for us. All right, so our friend Keith, he goes Jacobs, Dowdle, Warren, makes sense. Gunnar, Ross, Judkins, Daniels, Ladd, makes sense. And J-Dubs, Saquon, Odunze, McBride, Debo. Say it again, makes sense. So far so good. So far so good with everybody's team. We see Drake May go off the board. So we've already seen 4 quarterbacks going through 3.5 rounds. Feels a touch early, but that's kind of where things have been trending. Tet McMillan goes. I mean, I'll be able to get Krosky Merritt if I want him. I just don't know if I really want him. I do think here's where I take Worthy. I'm wondering what their projections have. So they have Brees. I'll take the Mason plunge. Why not? Let's do Worthy Mason. We'll push tight end to the last round. I think that's kind of fun here. Maybe we're being too cute taking Mason here. When we're trying to build a unique combo of Taylor Lamb, and then we scroll down, maybe we're giving up a little bit of uniqueness. But I think if the thesis is, Mason comes up, then, it's the 5th round. Like, he's I think this is fine. So we go Taylor, Lamb, Mahomes, Worthy. Mason will end the team with a tight end. Len, he adds Caleb to the team. Caleb unstacked over on this side of the world. Now we got Gunnar, Ross. He adds Genty to his team. And now we'll see how J-Dubs lands the plane. I wonder if J-Dubs was planning to take Caleb and is now pivoting, or what he will do there. But now 5 quarterbacks have been taken. J-Dubs, the only quarterback-less drafter here in the room. Hunter Henry goes. So Drake May does not end up unstacked. He goes to Hunter Henry. J-Dubs needs a running back or receiver. He takes Krosky Merritt there. The Gale, sup Chad, do you do DraftKings DFS as well, or just Underdog? I do a little bit on DraftKings, but I've shifted mostly to Underdog at this point. I find the games are just much more fun than DK. Just the variability of the rooms. I really like that aspect of it. I also like being able to build just like tons of teams, and I don't know, the like mini little sweats in individual drafts. It just, for me, it's been more fun. Keith says mainly do DBQs, so going to get unique here. Yeah, I think you've achieved that. I like the team that you've put together. We'll go over everyone's team after. Oh, nice. Luther Burden. There you go. There you go. Getting different there. All right. So it's so hard for me to pass Tucker Kraft. I don't think I have the strength, guys. I think I'm just gonna take Tucker Kraft. I planned on taking like Jacoby Myers here, and I know Tucker Kraft is gonna be nearly 100% owned, but I just think he's such a good matchup against Arizona. So this team ends up being Jonathan Taylor, C.D. Lamb, Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Mason, Tucker Kraft. I like the team there as constructed. Let's see what Len did. Jacobs, Dowdle, Warren, Diggs, and then Caleb with Luther Burden. I think this is very sharp. Luther Burden I think he's seen more as a Dawg Bowl pick, but definitely a guy that we've seen get there in limited touches, and those touches might go up. DJ Moore might be out. I do not mind at all what Keith did here. Now Gunnar Ross, he goes Judkins, Daniels, Ladd, Tet, Genty, Dallas Goedert. Yeah, makes these are all really good plays. It's a fine team. And Mr. Worth, he goes Saquon, Odunze, McBride, Debo, Krosky Merritt, and Hurts. So he doubles up on Washington and takes a unstacked Jalen Hurts. Like that. Good luck to everybody who was in these rooms. Appreciate all of you so much. If you can, like and sub. We will be back again this time tomorrow, or not this time, at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. So I'll see you all. We'll have a lot more to talk about. We'll have the first injury reports. We'll start getting more into the Q tags and stuff. If you can, leave a comment after the stream. You can say your favorite thing, why you subbed, just whatever you'd like. It helps the algo, and I really do appreciate it. But again, thank you all so much. I will see you all tomorrow. And hey, thanks, Steven. Really appreciate you. All right, take care, everyone.